I've invested in myself and other programs and mentors in the past, and there's nothing quite like this experience.
So I went from zero to $230,000 in 6 short weeks.
We actually set a goal to increase our sales by $60,000 in a month, and we did that in a week and a half with the help of the university.
Don't think about it, do it, and you're gonna be blown away.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Cardone Zone, and this is Young Hustlers. Get me on the screen here, guys. My name is Jarrod Glenn. Every Thursday, noon East Coast Standard Time, we come here, same time, same place, to give you the skills that you need to go out and create the dream. Tighten up my tie here. It's a little loose here. Dude, today I want to talk about 3 traits that are vital to success. I know that a lot of folks out there are trying to figure out what they can do to get what they want out of life, and you know, without having good mentors or people to learn from, it can be a little difficult. And there's a lot of information out there and a lot of people that I don't know if you can trust them. You know, you never know what the source of the information is or where they learned it from or how it's been proven or anything like that. And so what we do is we come on this show and we try to give you things that we know work because they worked for us. Something that worked for us and has been duplicated. So Grant's done it, it's worked for him. He told me to do it, I've done it, worked for me. I told Steve, Steve did it, worked for him, and Todd and Dave and Mike Bonnet. Like, we pass this information along and it works. And you see the successes of the folks that we have. So I hope that that's enough to kind of seed some credibility in what we're talking about here, because this show is designed to give you things that actually work. We don't want you wasting time guessing. We don't want you wasting time as a beta test. I mean, you know, like, we want to give you the real deal. That's what this show's all about. So if you have questions on how you can get more success, call the show, 305-865-8668. I want to chat with you today. I want to answer any questions that you may have. 3 traits that are going to be vital to your success. The very first thing that I want to talk about today is awareness. So awareness is an interesting thing, because I think a lot of people get in a zone. You know, they get in like they just operate and they just kind of move through life, and they're not really aware with what's going on around them. They kind of get in their bubble, and it will cause you to miss a lot of opportunity, and it will cause you to. And I'm telling you this because I experienced this. Like, I had a lack of awareness for a while about what was happening in life, because I woke up, I went to a job that I didn't really love, I was living for the weekends just to hang out with my friends. I didn't really know what I wanted out of life, so for me, it was like I was a little lost, right? I was a little lost. I wasn't aware of what was happening around me until my friends started being married, having kids, doing all that. Getting married, having... You want to come in? Just come on in. Come on in, say what's up. But it was because I didn't have awareness. I wasn't like aware that, man, other people around me, like, their lives are starting to happen and mine isn't. And so, you know, this is a serious show. This is a serious show. Come here. This freaking guy. Hey. Who's that? Hey. So, like, what you guys have to understand is things are going to happen around you, and you can either get into the flow of things or you can watch it all flow past you. And if you're not aware of what's happening around you, and you're not aware of the things that you need in order to actually be successful, whether that's an education, whether that's a new set of friends, whether that's a new set of beliefs, whether that's, it could be anything, right? Like you have to be able to, I tell my sales guys this all the time, like you need to be aware of the areas that you need to improve in the call. Like you need to be able to feel on the call like what your weaknesses are. When I ask somebody, I say, hey, what are your weaknesses? If they don't know what their weaknesses are, like right off the top of their head, then that to me demonstrates a lack of awareness. And if you're not aware of the areas that you're deficient in, you can't fix them. So like for me, like areas of deficiency for me, I don't know everything about investing. I'm starting to make money now, and I'm like, where do I go to do all this? That's part of the reason why I've invested with Grant, because I don't have the education on where to put money. My parents didn't give me an education on how to take money and multiply it. So I'm looking for other pieces of information. Another area of deficiency that I have is I'm a little too analytical sometimes, particularly in this work environment. Like Grant is very, we have an idea and we move on it. And I'm like, we have an idea, let me figure out the best way to do it. And so that causes a little bit of a longer on-ramp to get something moving, and based on who I work for, that's not how he operates. So it's something that I need to work on. Talking with big deals and having tough conversations, that's something that I still struggle with. Like nobody likes having hard conversations, So I'm successful despite that, so don't think that you have to be some crazy like ninja Grant Cardone, clone to be successful. But you have to be aware of it, and you have to be able to go into those situations, those conversations, knowing that it's an area that you can improve in. And so, I'm really hard on myself. People look at me or, they message me, oh man, I want to be like you one day. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, I'm nowhere yet. I've done nothing yet. And so maybe that's a deficiency. I don't know. Maybe it's a strength, but awareness is super important so that you know where you're at and how you can get to the next level. Somebody was talking to me the other day about, what to do next. Hey, can you mentor me? Like where do I go next in life? Like, can you mentor me to help me get to that next step? And I'm like, well, tell me about the programs that you've gone through of Grants. Tell me about the books that you've read of Grants. And they responded back. They're like, well, I haven't read any of it yet, but I watched some videos on YouTube. I'm like, you can't come to somebody. You can't, you got to be more aware than that to know, like, for the last 5 years, every week we do this podcast because we're basically trying to say, this is exactly what you need to do. This is, for me, Jarrod, this is what I did to get where I'm at. Like, you can go back 5 years to the beginning of this podcast and you can see where I was at then. And we talked about, hey man, Grant said, I'm gonna make you a millionaire on this show. Like, during this show, you will become a millionaire. Like, that show exists. So you can watch the progression of this show and how it moved me. And so, like, you got to be aware enough to know, like, if there's information that will get you where you want to go and it already exists, you need to find it and you need to consume it. And when we get back from the break, I'm going to keep going. Top traits vital to your success. This is Young Hustlers.
Wealth Dynamics believes everyone has the God-given right to own their potential. Most of us don't, because we spend 40 hours per week serving the 40-year-to-life sentence, trading our precious time for worthless paper called money. We live on an economic planet, and time and money do need to be exchanged, but it doesn't need to be your time or your money. We teach our clients to secure income-producing assets that make the time and money exchange for you, so you can buy your freedom back and live a life of abundance and prosperity. To get there, we must know how to make money, how to keep it, and how to multiply it. Wealth Dynamics provides coaching, education, accountability, and community to help you build wealth. Join our coaching program, get educated on Wealth Dynamics University, and begin networking with the Wealth Dynamics Mastermind Group today. To get started, go to wealthdynamics.com. Introducing the fastest growing e-commerce platform in fitness, gymfoodstore.com. Brought to you by Harvard-trained MD entrepreneur and specialist in rehabilitation and regenerative medicine, David Carley, along with Zoe Bedford, experience in distribution and product development. Gym Food Store is your online marketplace for nutrition and sport supplementation. We give you access to the most effective products and nutrition, all while providing expert reviews and user education. Gym Food Store is here to help you identify and validate product selection so that you are not wasting money or time on products that are simply subpar. Learn more at gymfoodstore.com. That's gymfoodstore.com right now.
Automatons, or artificial beings capable of independent thought, have been a fixture of science fiction, literature, and motion pictures throughout time.
Today, the convergence of technology and imagination has reached new heights, which are reflected in the advancements that we see in every area of our lives. Over the last couple of years, AI machines have made their way into our homes, the battlefield, our workplace, and even into our hands in the form of smartphones with voice recognition. Digital assistants for the home represent an opportunity if you know how to take advantage of them. That is where Nico's Computer Engineering comes in. Tim Clark brings you the latest news about the most up-to-date strategies to position yourself in the digital landscape, finding a path to productive business applications and how to automate them with artificial intelligence are just a few of the topics we cover in our weekly segments.
Nico's Computer Engineering is here to find a unique solution
For me at 3 o'clock. Hey, what's going on? We're back at Young Hustlers every single Thursday on the Cardone Zone at noon East Coast Standard Time. We do this show live, so if you're listening on the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher, first of all, thank you so much for your support. We do this show to help people. I mean, like, this isn't a show we get paid to do. I got a ton of stuff going on. I'm trying to work appointments around the podcast, but I know it's important to keep bringing good stuff to you guys here. And so this show literally is for you. You can call in, you can ask your questions about sales, about business, about like how I've gotten where I am. Maybe I'm a little bit more relatable to you because I'm not worth $1 billion and have a G550 or something like that. That's cool. Use me, man. That's what I'm here for. Follow me on Instagram. Ask me questions there. I try to get back to people, but I got that other folder haunts me, like plus 99 all the time. I can't even like put a dent in it. For like an hour, I'll go through that other folder, and then it'll be like plus 99. It's crazy. You even answer the messages in that other folder? You just ignore them? I don't know. We're talking about 3 traits vital to success today. Number 1 is awareness. You got to be aware of what's happening around you. You got to be aware of your deficiencies. You got to be aware of things that are coming economically. You got to be aware of business cycles. You have to be aware of the friends you keep. You got to be aware of the choices that you make. Like, if you are doing something that is not going to contribute to where you want to go in life, let's say you're smoking weed every day, or you're going out and you're partying all night till 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, and you don't get up until 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and you're all spun out because you've been partying all night, whatever. I don't know. Like you got to know when you wake up, that's not going to get you where you want to go, right? If you feel bad about it, that's a good indicator. That means you have some level of awareness that what you're doing isn't healthy to get you where you want to go. So like awareness is one of the things that I feel have been one of the most impactful things for me, because it allows me to make decisions based on things that get me towards my goals rather than things that take me away. So number 1, you've got to practice awareness. It's a discipline. It won't just show up one day. You got to keep thinking with that. And that kind of leads into the second thing, which is an awareness of how much persistence is required in order to get anything that you want. One of the biggest deficits that people have in their personal life or in their business life or in their career or trying to do anything is the book is called the 10X rule for a reason, but it might even be 20X or 50X. The amount of times that people underestimate how much work that's going to be required in order to get something done. So whether it's time to get a project done, whether it's phone calls to get a client, whether it's how many times you go talk to a girl before you actually start getting confident with it, whether it's how much money is going to take to actually make you financially free. Like, most people dramatically underestimate the amount of work and push and persistence that is actually required to do that. So persistence is that thing that like you can hit just like repeat over and over and over again. Persistence is a hunger to to continue at something until you hit the target. It's this thing that, like, as a child, I see this with my kid Jake. Like, as a child, like, we all have this, and he's like a maniac. He's so persistent. Like, anything he sees, he's going after, and then if you pick him up, his legs and arms are still moving, trying to keep going at it, because you put him back down, he goes right back over to it. And it's such an interesting illustration, because until you have kids, you won't understand this. But like, if this is on the ground, this 10X flag that we have here, he's gonna crawl over to it, and he's gonna want to put it in his mouth and play around with it. And so if I take it away and I move it, just because the target moved doesn't mean that he stops. He turns, he adjusts, and he continues to pursue it. And then I pick him up and I move him and turn him the other direction. Circumstances really start changing, right? Instead of the target moving, now he's moving. Turns around, he's still trying to figure out where it's at. And too often, I think that people run into a single roadblock and then they turn around. The flag moves and they're going, well, you know, maybe the flag wasn't that important. This is something that I don't know what happens to it in life. You know, I think what happens is, you know, you get persistent, and like for Jake, for example, and we tell him, no, don't do that. Like we're teaching him from a very young age, like, hey, don't do that. Don't be so persistent. Don't go out like that. Don't be so aggressive in the things that you're pursuing. And that's what Grant talks about. And I always got the idea, but dude, when you have kids, you freaking get the idea. You're telling them to stop pursuing something that they want because of what it means for you, not for them. And so in life, I think that people, they back off of this persistence thing because it was something that somebody else told them wasn't good because of the way it made that other person feel, not because it was the wrong thing to do. And so, like, you got to start figuring out, like, all these things in life that are impacting you from the outside. Number one, definitely, most certainly, awareness. Number two is persistence. And then number three, actually, before we go to number three, you want to go to a caller? Let's go to a caller. Who we got on the line?
I got Lewis in Miami.
Lewis from Miami, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Lewis. You there? Next.
I got Regina in Clearwater.
Regina Sotomayor.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm really good, really good. I've got, Regina. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Good to have you on the show.
Awesome.
So we're talking about 3 traits today that are vital to success. What's a trait that you have in your life that you've used that you think has contributed a lot to your success?
Courage.
Good one.
I've got the courage to push myself to move forward and do things that scare the living crap out of me.
I love that.
Yeah, and when I met Grant, that's when I kind of, you know, understood that about me. You know, I always felt like I wasn't fulfilled, that I could do more, and just the intention that Grant had and clarity in his in GrowthCon is what kind of woke me up and said, hey man, I gotta just step up and rise and grow a set and do what I know I can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I guess my most valuable trait, and it's got me to you know, produce a lot more than what I was doing before I met Grant.
Right on.
You know me as a realtor that runs a real estate team, and my agents go out and sell, and we're good at what we do. We could do a lot better. But I'm also an investor, and I used to do flips, and now I own a few multifamily properties.
Great. Awesome. Did you have a question?
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Why don't we do this? When we get back from the break, we'll keep you on the line. We'll have you ask your question, and we'll be right back. This is Young Hustlers.
You want me to mentor you? You want me to show you how to become a millionaire? Look in my eyes. I'll show you exactly what I did. I'm going to show you step by step exactly how I became a millionaire, where I started, how I started from zero, how I handled debt. This is definitely not about get rich quick. I don't believe in get rich quick. So I'll see you guys at the webinar, all right?
Growing your future, protecting your past. J.D. Frost & Company, PLLC, is a public accounting firm. Offers a variety of assurance and tax services to businesses and individuals in the Chattanooga and surrounding areas. We focus on construction and manufacturing industries. Our primary objective is client satisfaction through excellent customer service. Work with the best. We are accredited by the BBB. This is J.D. Frost & Company for a full suite of tax assurance and management accounting services. Visit us right now at frostcpas.com.
The more comfortable you get with yourself, the less scary it is for people to actually see you.
We all know as parents that there's nothing more powerful than a mother's love. And how can I be that extraordinary parent for my kids?
And how kind we are to each other.
The more that you love you, the less you care if others love you.
The idea is to really just choose to be with yourself. The challenges and the struggles and the frustrations and the self-doubt and insecurities can often keep us from living. We can master our lives from the inside out.
Based out of Jacksonville, Florida, this family-owned husband and wife team of realtors is there to serve you, track every process step by step, get you from contract into your new home or out of your current home sold and on the market. Chad and Sandy Newman will take you, market your home, and make sure that you will receive the best customer service ever. They're going to sell your property above market value in 30 days or less. With over 12 years of experience, this team is there for you. To learn more, go to chadandsandy.com. That's chadandsandy.com right now.
Hey everybody, we're back. This is the Cardone Zone, and on Thursdays at noon, the show we bring you is Young Hustlers, where people trying to keep that hustle young and strong and growing and expanding, where they come to get information on how they can get ahead. So we're talking today about three traits that are going to be vital to your success. We've already covered the first two. Number one is awareness. Number two is persistence. And I have a good friend of the show's, Regina, on the line, and one of her top traits that she has is courage. So look, all of these things are going to be important to you in some respect, and I think what you need to do is you need to start exploring these things because of awareness. Like Regina realized that courage was a thing because she was aware to actually be like, hey, aware enough to be like, hey, this is something that I need to work on. And she was aware enough of it to start pushing into the things that make her uncomfortable. And then what happens is before too long, those things start eroding away and they're no longer things that make you uncomfortable. And then you go find something else that makes you uncomfortable and you conquer that and you start growing as a person. So Regina's on the line. She's got a question. I'm ready for it now, Regina. Give it to me.
All right. So my question is about real estate investing, because I've got my hands full with my team. I've got my hands full in getting everybody on Cardone, getting them to be as motivated as I am. It's kind of hard to find people that are of this like mindset. So it takes a lot of my energy efforts to get out there. But at the same time, I agree 100% with DC in the fact that I have to diversify and find different income streams to be successful. And that's the basics of my question. You know, I'm going out of my comfort zone, investing in one particular deal, multifamily property that I'm leveraging. I'm not using my own funds because, you know, that's one of the things that GCs taught me, is use somebody else's money.
Right.
But I'm a little bit unskilled at this. So this is happening so fast. I feel like I need a little bit more mentorship and guidance with this one particular deal. So what do you suggest that I do in order to, you know, I'm scared of making a mistake, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you know, look, like one thing, for example, is you can call into the real estate show. Like they do a portion of the show where they look at people's deals and they call in. You could submit your information on the real estate show, and maybe it gets selected to be a deal that they go over briefly free. You know, another option is partner up with somebody. You know, like find a mentor. You know, get a coaching session with a guy like Grant, and in that session, maybe you go over what the deal is. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways. But look, like it's not supposed to be easy. It is supposed to be overwhelming. The people who are overwhelmed and the people who bring on the overwhelm all the time and are constantly like they're running from thing to thing, those are the people that get to the target faster. Like you got to understand, like at some point, everybody's going to make $1 million, right? It's just a matter of how long it takes them to get there. And so for Regina, she's like, hey, I'm trying to grow my business. I've gone from me as by myself to 7 agents working with me, and I want to grow this, and so I've got to get my multiple flows of income, and I've got to be able to learn to do deals. Like, it is supposed to be crazy. So if you think it's supposed to be calm and mellow, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create your $25 million target that you want to have, you know, maybe by the time you're 50 or 60, and you're trying to collapse as much time as you can into that. And so that means you have to get more done in less time. So like I'm a big believer that hard work is important. I think there's definitely ways you can use technology to scale what you do. But I think there's a lot of information out there about people that are just kind of cool and taking their time, and they've got this really chill lifestyle, and that's great. But long term, the thing that always works is hard work compressed into a short period of time to get something done faster. And so, like, my advice to you would be pay for a coaching session with Grant so he can look at your deal. Try calling into the real estate show so that he can look at the deal. Call into a real estate podcast, see if they'll look at your deal. Like leverage the things that you have around you to help you out with the thing that you're lacking in experience. So I hope that helped. We got another caller? Yeah. Who we got?
We got Wes from the U.S.
Wes from the U.S.? Wes from the U.S., what's going on?
Jarrod, my man, may I share something with you today?
Sure.
This is Wes with G News Stuff, and the reason why I'm calling is I'm 10xing Grant's global awareness movement, and will continue to 10x his global awareness for $30,000 a month and a lifetime access to Cardone University.
Yeah.
My intention is to help Grant reach 8 billion people so we can equip and educate the masses.
Yeah, here, Wes. I'll give you some feedback right now. You remember what trait number 1 was?
Trait number 1.
Yeah, from the show?
Persistence.
Nope. It was awareness.
Awareness.
Yeah, so you guys don't know, like for y'all who don't know this, Wes has been calling us and the show for probably a year, maybe longer, trying to come work for us. And we haven't hired him, and we've continued to pass on him, and we will continue to pass on him because he doesn't have the experience to substantiate what he wants to do. So like, number 1, if you're relying on one person in your pipeline, then you will definitely fail. Like, you've got to have 500 people in your pipeline. Number 2, you got to have the awareness to know when what you have ain't a good fit. If you're asking for a $30,000 a year job and you've never made more than $30,000 in a year, you're on another planet. You're not aware of your situation. So like, while persistence is extremely important, if you're persistence with no awareness, like me going and trying to sell executive coaching to Elon Musk probably isn't a good fit, right? Like, he's a billionaire, he's done PayPal, he's done Solar City, he's done Tesla, and I'm coming in saying, hey, I can coach you and I can make you better at what you do. It's probably not a good fit. I need to be aware enough of my own situation to be like, hey, it's probably a waste of time and energy. So like, Don't rely on a pond, dude. Go fish in the freaking ocean. Go out and find 500 targets, not one. And be aware enough to know that if you're a minnow, you cannot swallow a whale. So like, crank up the awareness and go out and find the right thing so that you're using all that energy in a productive way to actually move you further ahead than keep you in the same place spinning your wheels. We have another caller? Yes, we do. Who we got?
Tyler in Tennessee.
Tyler in Tennessee. Tough love, Wes. You know I love you, man, but it's just the wrong deal. Tyler, what's going on?
What's going on? How are you?
Good, man. We're talking about success traits today, traits vital to your success. What's one thing that you think and you value as a top trait to success?
Well, I'm pretty new to sales and everything. I actually just started about a week ago.
Oh, wow, good.
So I'm just trying to, get tips, pointers really on in a good direction to go.
Yeah, so like, what are you selling?
Cars. We're Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership.
Okay, great. So like, have you read any sales books before?
Not recently, no.
Okay, what you said not recently. When was the last time you read a sales book?
It's probably been a year and a half, so it's kind of escaped me a little bit.
Okay, what was the book?
Gosh, I can't even remember the name of it.
All right, right. So, dude, look, what do you like doing for recreation?
Camping and going outdoors is really a big thing.
Camping and going outdoors. That's like, so you like to go to Cabela's and like, you're into that. You like tents and Patagonia and North Face and like all that stuff?
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so like, are there people that are like outdoorsmen that you're like, oh, this guy's a super outdoorsman and he's like, that's the type of lifestyle I want. Is there somebody like that you look at?
There's a guy, I can't think of his last name. His first name is Bill. He actually helped build the Cabela's, or not the Cabela's, the Bass Pro in Memphis.
Oh, wow. So does this guy make money doing what he loves doing in the outdoor space?
Oh, yes. Yeah,
okay.
He's a huge fisherman.
Okay, so right now you're a salesperson, right? And so that's the way you're going to make money. You're not going to make money as an outdoorsman today, okay? So as a salesperson, what you need to do is you need to immerse yourself in an environment with information that will develop you as a salesperson, because that's the thing that's feeding you. So like you don't need to read one book. You need to read one book once in a year and a half. You need to pick up a sales book and you need to read that thing over and over and over again, like Sell or Be Sold, wherever that book's at. Sell or Be Sold, Grant Sales book. You need to go and listen to every episode of this podcast since the beginning of time. You need to pick up one of our sales programs in our store, and you need to study that. Like you need to become a sponge for information. And like in your business, in your industry, the only person that I'd study is Grant. That's where he started, and his information there is better than anybody's. And we have programs specifically for people in automotive. So that's definitely where I would start. Natalie, maybe you can get him set up with one of those MP3 packages or something like that. But dude, your level of interest in the sales game needs to go up to the level of Bill's interest in being an outdoorsman. It needs to be everything you do in life, the air you breathe, the oxygen, the blood. It needs to be everything that you are as a person. Because that's what it takes, man. And if you guys aren't doing that, if you don't feel like you're a little bit like neurotic about what you're doing and how often you're geeking out on what you do, then you're never really gonna break out of that like middle pack, you know? Like in network marketing companies, there's a ton of people that get in, there's a small group of people that make money, and then there's a very small group of people that make big money. It's the same product, it's the same company, it's the same opportunity, but somebody decided to go all in with it, and they actually started consuming information. They were aware enough to see that network marketing is a great opportunity that will help them get where they want to go in life. They were persistent enough to break through the beginning stages of that process to get to the level where they were maybe making a couple grand a month in passive income. And then they were curious enough, which is point number 3 that I'm going to cover. They were curious enough and they had a desire to learn that was high enough that allowed them to elevate to a level where very few get. So these things all work together. And maybe your 3 traits are different than the ones I've given you. I'm just telling you what worked for me. I was aware, I was persistent, and finally, I always had a curiosity and a desire to learn. And you need to have a desire to learn from people that have been where you want to go, right? But you got to be careful. Like if somebody is at where you want to go and they're still there and nothing's changed for them and they got to $1 million a year in income and they don't change, like if I make $1 million a year and you're like, oh wow, I want to follow Jarrod because he makes $1 million a year working for somebody else. I'd love to get in a position like that. If a year from now I'm still making $1 million a year, stop following me because I'm not doing something right. People should continue to grow and progress. Like if your income, if you feel like you're consuming a lot of information and you're not growing and you're not improving and your income isn't increasing, then something's out. Wrong vehicle, wrong information, poor execution, bad attitude. It could be, something is wrong if you're not growing. It's like if you have a plant and you water it and it has sunlight, it should continue to grow. If it dies, there was something wrong. So point 3 is you have to have a desire to learn. And I would suggest that you do it from people that have been or are way beyond where you want to go in life. That's why we created this mentor program. We have a mentor program. We meet every Tuesday. Grant or myself, we come on and we actually help coach people through some of these things that Tyler, who just called in, was asking about. He's like, I'm new to sales. How do I even get started? How do I get rolling? So in the ambassador program, not only are you going to get coaching from Grant, from me, from our team, from our top producers, so that you can see that this is actually being done. It's real. It can be duplicated. But you're also going to get access to Cardone University. You're also going to get access to a networking group, a private networking group on Facebook. This last time we did the mentoring group was the most popular thing. People loved it because it allowed success-minded individuals to connect. People were doing deals, people were getting hired, people were making money off each other because we got a group of people that were opportunistic, that were looking for an opportunity, that had a desire to learn, and they had a desire to want to succeed in life. You put enough of those people together, magic things start happening. So we have Cardone University, we have the private networking group. We're putting you in a special location at the 10X Growth Conference that's coming up in 2009. We have an announcement about that later. GrowthCon 3, okay, you're going to be a special ambassador section. The purpose of the ambassador program, the purpose of the mentorship program is to take you from where you're at today. When you come in, we make you do a video that says, hey, this is exactly where I'm at. And for the next 22 weeks, if you would have signed up 2 weeks ago when we launched it, you would have had 24 weeks, and there's 22 left. Get in fast. Okay, for 22 weeks, every week, we're going to be working with you. You're going to be training. You're going to be mentoring. You're going to be networking with other like-minded people to improve your situation. Okay? You're going to have help from me. You're going to have help from Grant. You're going to have help from other people that want to do better. You're going to get access to Cardone University to give you the skills you need to get to the next level. And then we're going to bring you to our event, Grant Cardone's 10X Growth Conference. We're going to have 30,000 people there, and the ambassadors are going to have a special section, and we are going to take the most successful ambassadors from our program and highlight them. See, the program is to take a mentee, you, the mentee, and to make you an ambassador of the program. To take you as a mentee from where you're at and give you information that will move you through levels of success over the next 22 weeks so that after 22 weeks, you're not only winning, but you're winning to such a degree that you want to become an ambassador of Grant Cardone and the brand. That you can be somebody we can rely on to wave the flag out in the public, to share the stories, to share the wins. Like, we want ambassadors of the brand. We want everybody out there talking about how well they've done, because your success is how we win. Our product is successful people in the marketplace. That's why we do this show. That's why Grant does live shows every week. That's why he does live streams every day. That's why he gives so much, because 90% of what we do, we don't get paid for, because we're giving and we're trying to help people and we're trying to improve their circumstances to the degree that they perpetuate the message that Grant Cardone has shit that works. And then the people that have money buy our programs. Corporate companies is how we make most of our money. We sell our training programs to Fortune 500 companies that are 6- and 7-figure training contracts. That's where the money comes from. The money doesn't come from the ambassador program, right? That covers promotion, that we can actually get our message out into the marketplace. But we want to help you go from a mentee to an ambassador of the brand. So join our mentor program, grantcardone.com/ambassador, grantcardone.com/ambassador. You can sign up for the program. All you have to do is you have to pay a small membership fee to be included. You get 22 weeks of mentoring. You get access to Cardone University. You get access to a private Facebook networking group. And you get access to 2019's 10X Growth Conference. It will be, I'm just telling you, I'm working very closely and putting all the details of this thing together. It's going to be the most badass conference, literally, not exaggerating, on the planet, ever. Nobody will put together an event for business owners, for entrepreneurs, that will do what we're going to do. We're going to rewrite the books on this thing, and we want you there. We want to highlight your success stories at the event. So get hooked up with the program. You want me to work with you? You want GC to work with you? You want us to push you and challenge you and hold you accountable for 22 weeks? You don't got to worry about doing it on your own, because we're going to be right there with you. grantcardone.com/ambassador. We got 2 more callers. Let's go to the callers before we wrap up the show here. I saw you trying to clip them, Johnny. I want to help these people. Come on. Kevin in Canada, welcome to the show. What's your question? Kevin in Canada, welcome to the show. What's your question?
Hey, Grant, so Jarrod.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing? Great, brother. I was just watching you just now. Yeah, my question is this. So I'm in the ambassador program. I'm loving it, and I made a goal for myself to make 100K by February.
Good.
And yeah, so my first flow of income, it's not really paying me much, man. It's an hourly job. And then my second flow, it's like a leadership business. It's at Warrior Leadership, and it's like it needs money from the first to get popping. So
what do you mean it needs money from the first?
Like, Grant says put money into the business, right?
Dude, you don't need money to get started. First of all, how much is your hourly job? You can't control. You only have so many hours in a day that you can work, and they're going to pay you. So like, that's not the thing that's going to get you your 100 grand. How much are you going to make in your hourly job this year?
Shit, like maybe like 8 grand.
Yeah, okay. So let's just round up, be optimistic. Let's call it 10, all right? So you need to come up with 90 grand between now and then. That hourly job ain't going to do it. How much you sell your leadership program for?
Right now, it's at $300.
Okay, so how many of those at $300 do you need to sell to make 90 grand?
Yeah.
How many?
I got to do the math. I don't know. It's divided, right?
Dude, you set a target and you haven't even done the math yet, bro. Yeah. What's that? Is that 300 units or is that? Yeah, it's 300. You got to sell 300 people a product for $300.
All right.
Okay. You don't need money to do that. When you picked up the phone and you called the show, how much did that cost you?
Yo, it was free.
It was free, right? And if we hung up on you right now and you called back, how much would that cost?
Free.
And if you called me 50 more times today trying to get back on the show after we end, how much would that cost you?
It's just time, but it's free.
Bro, you don't need money to start. You need to pick up the phone and make some calls. Like you need to pick, like, I think I seen your stuff on Instagram. Like, let me just tell you, dude, if the only thing you're doing is you're messaging people on Instagram and you're not trying to pick up the phone and call people and you're trying to get freaking lazy and hope, hey man, if I send 500 messages today, maybe somebody will respond, get on the phone. Like, figure out a way to do what you're doing for free until you get enough people winning on it. Like, You can invest without investing money. You can invest your time, you can invest your energy, you can invest your creativity. Like, how many clients have bought your $300 program?
It's about roughly like 16.
Okay, so 16. Dude, you got to get those 16 people winning so hard that you can call them and be like, how many people do you know that can use what I did for you? And that they literally, like, give me the names of 3 people. Like, give me the names of 3 people I could call right now that would pick up my call, that would listen to you if you told them, dude, you need to hook up with Kevin. You need to hook up with Kevin because he's going to change your deal. So they need to be the recruitment tool. They need to be like the wins that you need to build off of are the people that you've already sold the program to. And then you need to use those people to go out and get more business through referrals, through their testimonials and success stories. But if those 16 people that you signed up, if they're not singing your praises, if they're not wanting to help you out, if they're not wanting to grow your business, your program didn't do enough for them.
Straight up.
So you don't need money, you need energy, you need creativity, you need persistence, you need awareness, you need curiosity. Dude, you gotta work, man. You gotta work. Thanks for the call. Who do we got? Last one? Nick in Sunny Isles. What's going on? Oh, that's right down the road.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
What's going on? How are you, man? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Hey, I had a question for you. I hope it's a good one that can bring some value to the show today.
Okay, let's go.
What's more important in between a job? Because I just moved down here. Working on yourself so you can get the job that you know you really want, or just going and getting a job to make some money? What if you're more interested in an opportunity than you are for just working for a paycheck?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Nick. I'm glad that you asked. So that goes back to like the thing that we had a caller, his name was Wes, he called in about. He's like, hey, you know, and I know some history on Wes, and he's extremely persistent. Great guy, nothing wrong with him, but he's a little disconnected with the ask that he has. He wants 30 grand a month and lifetime access to Cardone U to do a job that he has no track record with. He has no experience doing. Like, he came in, he's asking for 360 grand a year, right? 30 grand a month. I mean, dude, I get 7 grand a month, all right? Like, and I got to work for everything else. So there's just a disconnect with what he's looking for and what that actually is required. So like, we have people who apply here all the time who are great people and could go and get a job mostly anywhere and they'd be a huge asset. But for us, when we hire people, we have to look for certain criteria. Like, we're not at the point now, we're a legitimate business. Like, we don't take chances on people. Like, we bet on the sure thing. Like how Grant talks about with real estate investing. He's like, hey, look, man, like, you need to go out, you need to like do the math, you need to set a target, you need to increase your income, you need to park that money away and then put that money somewhere where it will not be destroyed. Like, it will not go backwards. You have to protect it. You have to do the safe, secure thing that you know is going to work out over the long term. So like, as an employer for us, we have to make sure that we know that if, like, this isn't our first time doing this, we've been in business for a while. So if we know that if somebody has 1, 2, and 3, they're going to win here. And if they only have 1, they're going to fail. Then we just don't accept people that only have the 1. Like, they got to have all 3 boxes, because we know that if we do that, people are guaranteed to work out. So what I would tell you is that you need to solve your today problem, which is, I've got to get a job. And then if there's something that you want to work towards, number 1, find a job that will help work you towards that. Or number 2, you know, while you're working at your other job, find a way to get closer to the thing that you really want. So I hope that helps, Nick from Sunny Isles. Look, there's a lot of roads and a lot of paths to be successful. I don't know all of them. Certainly there are people that have gotten further along than I have, faster. The purpose of this show isn't that. It's just to say, hey, dude, this is what I know worked. This is what I know Grant told me to do. This is what we told the sales team folks to do, and it's working for them. This is something that I know can work and can be duplicated. But you have to have awareness, trait number 1. You have to have persistence, like ungodly amounts of persistence, like Wes, awesome in persistence. And then number 3, you have to have a desire to learn and grow as a person and make sure that that information you're consuming is credible, it works, it's effective, and that it's something that can be duplicated. So if you need help with that, join our ambassador program. We want to take you from a mentee in our mentor program to becoming an ambassador of the brand. The only way we're going to do that is to create some massive, massive successes for you over the next 22 weeks. So sign up, grantcardone.com/ambassador. You're going to get access to Cardone University. Look, like when we sell Cardone University for $9.95, we sell, I mean, it flies off the shelf. Everybody jumps on it, okay? You're going to get Cardone University. You're going to get access to an exclusive ambassador section. They literally are the best seats in the house where we're doing the GrowthCon 3. You're going to get access to the weekly mastermind where Grant, myself, or somebody else, one of our top performers on the team, come help and coach you and help get you closer to your goals and targets, keep you accountable. And then number 4 is you're going to get access to a private Facebook group so that you can get connected and network with like-minded people. Network, I don't know, find out ways to do business together, make money together. Maybe Kevin has some leadership clients in there. Maybe Wes has somebody in there that'll pay him 30 grand a month to come be a valuable asset to their deal. I don't know, but you got to get connected. You got to get around people that are like-minded, that want to win, and they want to see other people win. That's all I got for you this week. Remember, the only people that condemn the hustle are the ones who've already given up on the hustle themselves. I expect to see you on the Ambassador Call Tuesday at noon East Coast Standard Time. grantcardone.com/ambassador to get signed up. We'll see you next week.
I've doubled my business in the first probably 2 months of the program.
Before the program, I was struggling to find leads and really build my network marketing business. Now, since being in the program, I'm number 16 right now on the leaderboard in my company with hundreds of thousands of promoters.
Hey, welcome to our Friday mentoring show. Welcome, welcome. Jarrod Glant here. Good to have you guys here. We got a bunch of people joining us around the world.
98% of you said that you'd do the group again. Would you do the group again?
You guys need to be here at the next GrowthCon and take advantage of the mentor group. Just an amazing, life-changing experience.
The big thing about this group I want to tell everybody is the people I've met. I've expanded my network so far already, I can't even explain to you I was in this little shell.